Do you suffer from stress, anxiety, or depression? Do you find it hard to focus or to contain your emotions? Any of these things can take you down. So, what then are your personal health practices? If you don't yet have an integral or holistic wellness practice, you're in the right place. Podcast host Susan Axelrod, the confidence coach, has been practicing holistic wellness for 25 years. Along the way, Qigong and Tai Chi found her. After tiptoeing in, she dove into a committed practice and became a teacher and integral wellness consultant. She'll tell you Qigong and Tai Chi changed her life. In this podcast, she interviews practitioners, inviting them to share their stories about how these practices changed their lives too. Go grab your journal. At the top of a clean page, write down, I want to feel better. Then take a breath and tune in to see if Qigong and Tai Chi can help. Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of this very important podcast series. I have had so much fun interviewing people, inviting them to share their Qigong stories and talking about how this special modality has changed their lives. This episode is no different. I'm delighted to have Eric Adler with us today. As you know, I'm going to read his bio directly because my intention is for you to understand different kinds of people who are practicing Qigong and Tai Chi. Eric has always been fascinated by the intricacies of nature. After earning a master's degree in agricultural science with a focus on rangeland ecology, he transitioned into IT to support his family. For 20 years, he ran a company, but following a divorce and struggles with depression, he sold the business and returned to his true passion, ecology. Now he dedicates his time to working with plants and soil. In addition to this, he has a business and personal coaching practice where he loves supporting people who feel stuck or are struggling with anger or fear. As a certified educator in holistic management, he remains deeply curious about holism and its transformative potential. Hello, Eric. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Susan. Thanks for inviting me out here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And I want to say, I love your bio. I love how you have come right out and revealed your truth. This is unusual. And I was delighted when I received it from you and to be able to share it out here today. So tell me, what's your story, Eric? How has Qigong or Tai Chi changed your life?
I think in a nutshell, it really gave me a different view on what being sovereign is. Like this notion that no matter what is going on with myself, that I can find peace through a practice. So I can wake up one morning and feel my nervous system can feel jittery. I can feel the pressure of many things that I would like to accomplish that day, and maybe feeling a scarcity of time. And then I can go down to the ocean and let the ocean water, roll up against my legs as I practice Qigong and Tai Chi. And within a very short period of time, whatever narrative was going on in my mind and whatever agitation was in my nervous system, that's gone. That can be completely gone and replaced with this sense of, yeah, let's just go about my day and feel. And if I need to replan because some things might get done that might not get done that I thought need to get done. It's like this sense of me trusting what's going to happen is now within the DNA of my living, my beingness.
I mean, I want to say I feel this. So I really feel what you're saying because I too am a practitioner. When you said, no matter what is going on with myself, I can find peace through a practice. Now, to be honest, there are people out there who are being like, that's a crock. You know, like that's ridiculous, you know, because we know, Eric, as I mentioned to you when we were talking, what I call in the green room before, I'm a former type A, a recovering type A. And the reason I know that there are people out there saying that is because that was me. And so I want to ask you, for someone who might say, like, that's impossible, how do you say it is possible to really find that peace through yourself, whereby in a very short period, you can come to personal alignment?
You know, the funny thing about that is that there can be days when I'm far more agitated than other days, and there can be days that I wake up happy. But not too long ago, I think it was 3 or 4 months ago, I woke up and I was having some challenging thoughts, and I went down to the beach to do my practice, and throughout my entire practice, I felt like I had only moved the needle down from like 100 to 90. And so I left still agitated. But the thing that I knew from this is that the practice was saying to me, things are moving. And 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 as I was driving home, I can't remember what it was. Somebody called, or I listened to a message that had me guffaw at something. And I noticed that the needle was down to like 40 or 30%, that just that human connection, thing dropped it down. And finally, I would say that I have not had a hot shower in over a year. And I got into Wim Hof. And one day I hopped out of the shower and I said to myself, oh, I'm not going to take a hot shower for a year. It was just some sort of abstract thought. About 15 minutes later, when I was dry and I was in my kitchen and drinking my hot tea, I'm like, oh, did I really say that? And I'm like, oh, I think I did say that. And then I knew I had to do it. and the thing about it is that jumping in a cold shower does a lot to settle the nervous system. You stay in a cold shower for 2 minutes, and I had to train to do it. I used to get cold in an 80-degree swimming pool. And so it took some training of like starting with like taking my shower down from over 100 down to 90 and then down to 85. And so I did it gradually. But what I would like to say to people who say that it's not possible to do this is that it's about dedicating themselves to a practice and getting to know themselves. That if I'm just having a normal amount of stress, then yeah, I can go into my practice and come out of it and feel, at peace and happy and at that true state. But if I'm having something unusual happening where it's an added degree of stress, like they talk about the high stressors, death, dying, divorce, the moving,
job loss.
Yeah, like these types of things, then the notion is, can I create more space? And the answer to that is yes. And let's not forget the power of a hug, because, the power of singing, the power of chanting, the power of prayer, because there isn't one panacea. It is, we live in a complex world, and we need to embrace complexity and not try and simplify it.
We need to embrace complexity and not try to simplify it. So I don't think I have a few books published, and in my very first book, I have a chapter called The Windows to the Soul, and you just named all of them. And so without a doubt, all the modalities are available to you. And as we're learning from you here today, all you need to do is have a desire to get to know yourself. And then also believe that my tagline is imagine the possibility, and, just believe in the possibility that it could be true. And when you watch this back, you'll see your voice and your energy came down so nicely when you said, basically, you need to ask yourself, can I create more space? And that was really beautiful because that really is the basis of Qigong. We're actually in Tai Chi, we're actually, creating, a frame and space.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that? I'm trying to get on a little light. It's funny at this time of the year how quickly
It goes down.
it
Yeah.
goes down.
Yeah, it's no problem. I mean,
One quick step. So we'll be in the light. Yeah.
let there be light. And I think that this is such an important conversation. Inevitably, in my podcast interviews that I've been having, I invite people to just take a pause for a moment and rewind this and listen to this idea that you could actually ask yourself, can I create more space? And you could actually believe in the possibility that I can find peace through a practice. Isn't this beautiful?
Just, yeah. It's unbelievable, actually, at times, that to me, how, and I have felt this before, where one of the most difficult things in the world is to be with ourselves. That we'll watch TV to escape it. We'll drink wine. We'll eat junk food. And I say we because it's been like, what do I do to self-soothe? And what do I do to avoid? And
no, I was just going to say, first of all, chips. I'm a chips person. My
Right.
junk food is chips. And what do we do to avoid the hard feelings within? And then versus, again, bringing up this phrase that you've created here, I can find peace through a practice. I call it binging, bonging, buying, through all of those kinds of, and buying on Amazon. Buying on Amazon is a total addiction. It's a total distraction, and it's devastating in many ways. But these are the practices that we do. You mentioned TV. TV is utter, complete enervation. Complete enervation. Qigong and Tai Chi is complete energizing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that?
Yes. Yeah. I would say that recently I was having a conversation with somebody and just talking about the power of meditation. And they were telling me that their form of meditation is playing like Candy Crush or some game like that. And I felt this part of me of wanting to challenge them and say, actually, sometimes words do matter.
Yeah.
And that even though you might believe that you are relaxing by doing that, it's not the same as another practice that takes you actually into the parasympathetic nervous system for a period of time. And, I'm a pragmatist at the end of the day, even though, I can be unreasonable, but at the end of the day, I really strive to be reasonable and flexible. And for me, I don't care the way that an individual wants to get into their parasympathetic nervous system. To me, it doesn't matter. Like if it's yoga, and I have an unlimited yoga membership, and so I'm doing yoga all the time. I have my Tai Chi practice. And whatever it is, what my want for the people of this planet, for everybody, is to know that when they spend time with an intention on relaxing their body in a way that gets them into the parasympathetic nervous system, the amount of healing that is accessible to anyone is unbelievable. And the thing about that is that because that's the way our body was wired. Our body was wired that once we leave, fight or flight, and we go into rest and digest, our body starts to go into its methods for self-healing. period.
Yeah, period. I mean, a lot of people do know my story, Eric. You shared yours through the bio, and I just am here to say you could not be more right. Like I can feel somatically, in my body, I can feel that, the sympathetic rising from my own personal trauma experience. And then I can feel, because you said, if you said spend time with an intention of relaxing. So I had, instead of the word relaxing, I had the word healing. So I made a choice to spend a year with an intention of healing. And that restful state found me. I got myself to the parasympathetic through the spend time with an intention. And I really love that you've shared this with us today, because the candy crushing, right? Somebody says, "Oh, that's my meditation." Well, really, it's your, flight. Really, it's your flight from reality and mindlessness. That's okay. I watch like home makeover shows or whatever
What
for
I would
mindlessness.
But what I would like to say about that is that it might lower their anxiety by, like, if they were in a place of feeling anxious and they sat down and they started playing Candy Crush, they might not feel as anxious. And I don't want to judge that. The thing that I would like people to understand, though, is that there's a whole nother level that is accessible to them. And all people have to do is go on the internet and research the relaxation response.
Yeah.
When you enter into rest and digest, which is the opposite of being in fight or flight and freeze, when you go into that, what happens in your body, the mechanisms that get turned on biologically for healing. And I would like people to understand that so much of what we go to go see a doctor for,
Yeah.
we actually have that. And this is what I mean about recognizing what being sovereign is and being autonomous means. It is that we actually have a lot more access to health and wellness than we might ever imagine. And we say to people, like, just start to eat healthy, and there's so much debates about what eating healthy is. It can get confusing, and we're always looking for experts to help us that. And what Qigong and Tai Chi have the power to teach people is to develop the sensitivity in the same way that a lion develops its own sensitivity for being able to hunt, or the prey have a sense of knowing when the lion is coming after them. I mean, if you've ever spent time in the savannah, you'll understand how what the beauty of sensitivity is. Like we say to people, you're just being sensitive. We use it as a pejorative, but actually, when somebody has a high degree of confidence and they're super sensitive, those are, like, I want to hang out with those type of people. And so what I'm saying is that people can really learn what's healthy for them dietarily by starting to trust the responses of which they feel in their own body. And that's how we become our own teachers. And that's why they say that Qigong is a neo-shamanistic practice, where we don't need to go see the shaman, because we become it in Qigong.
So
we become our healers.
So much that we become it when you bring it in and bring it down, and you learn that you can be in charge of your own energy. So we just have another minute. These conversations go so quickly, but I just want to say I invite people to listen to this. Eric, you're obviously a coach. In your bio, you said that you love supporting people who feel stuck or are struggling with anger and fear. And I want to truly, deeply invite people to listen to your words, listen to what you're sharing here, and reach out to you, where could they find you?
My website is oneseason.global.
Okay, and I'll put that in the YouTube notes. And I want to say thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for sharing this wisdom. This is very, very deep wisdom. I could feel it deeply because I'm in the practice also. And so that's why I'm doing this entire podcast series. So I want to thank you for your time and especially for the energy that you brought to the room today. So take good care, and I'll see you again soon.
Yeah, thank you, Susan.
My
Thank you
pleasure.
for inviting me. Yeah.
Been a pleasure.